This is the story of President Ibrahim Traoré, a man who was arrested by mistake, and what happened next will truly shock you. This is not just a story about a leader, it is a story about hope, fear, courage, and the power of the people. So, listen closely, because every part of this story is important, and every moment will keep you wondering what will happen next. Ibrahim Traoré was not born a president. He was born in a small village in Burkina Faso, a country in West Africa. His family was poor, but they were proud. They taught him to be honest, to work hard, and to always help others. As a boy, Ibrahim loved to listen to his grandmother's stories. She would tell him about the old days, about brave warriors and wise kings, about how one small action could change everything. Ibrahim listened and learned. He wanted to be strong like the heroes in the stories. He wanted to help his people. Ibrahim's village was surrounded by fields and forests. Every morning, he would wake up early to help his father in the fields. He would carry water from the river, sometimes walking for hours under the hot sun. He learned the value of hard work. At night, he would sit with his family around the fire, listening to the sounds of the night, crickets, frogs, and the distant howl of a hyena. His grandmother would tell stories about the spirits of the land, about how the ancestors watched over them. She would say, "Ibrahim, remember, even when things are hard, you must never give up. The river may be long, but it always finds the sea." When Ibrahim was old enough, he went to school in the nearby town. The school was small, with only a few teachers, but Ibrahim loved to learn. He was curious about the world. He read every book he could find. He asked questions about everything. His teachers saw that he was special. They encouraged him to dream big. But life was not easy. Sometimes there was not enough food. Sometimes he had to miss school to help his family. But Ibrahim never complained. He believed that education was the key to a better life. As he grew older, Ibrahim saw that his country was facing many problems. There was poverty, hunger, and sometimes violence. He saw people fighting over land and water. He saw children who could not go to school. He saw old people who had no one to care for them. He wanted to help, but he did not know how. One day, a group of soldiers came to his village. They were looking for young men to join the army. Ibrahim thought about it. He knew it would be dangerous, but he also knew it was a way to serve his country. He said goodbye to his family and joined the army. In the army, life was hard. The training was tough. The days were long and hot. The nights were cold and lonely. But Ibrahim did not give up. He learned to be strong. He learned to work with others. He learned to follow orders. But he also learned to think for himself. He made friends with soldiers from all over the country. They shared stories, food, and dreams. Ibrahim became known for his honesty and bravery. He always helped others, even when it was risky. He never took more than his share. He never lied or cheated. His commanders noticed him. They gave him more responsibility. He became a leader, not because he wanted power, but because people trusted him. One day, there was a big problem in the country. Some people wanted to take control by force. There were protests in the streets. The government was afraid. They did not know who to trust. They gave orders to the soldiers, find the traitors, arrest anyone who is a danger to the country. The soldiers were nervous. They did not want to make a mistake, but the night was dark, and the city was full of fear. That night, Ibrahim was at home with his family. He was tired from a long day. He sat with his wife and children, talking about their dreams for the future. Suddenly, there was a loud knock at the door. Before he could stand up, soldiers rushed in. They shouted his name. They said he was under arrest. Ibrahim was shocked. He tried to explain, but the soldiers would not listen. They tied his hands and took him away. His family cried and begged, but the soldiers were afraid. They thought they were doing the right thing. Ibrahim was taken to a dark prison. The walls were cold. The air was heavy. He was alone. He did not know why he was there. He did not know what would happen next. He remembered his grandmother's words, "Sometimes, life is not fair, but you must never lose hope." Ibrahim closed his eyes and prayed for strength. The prison was a terrible place. The food was bad. The water was dirty. The guards were strict. Every day, Ibrahim sat in his cell, thinking about his family. He missed his children's laughter. He missed his wife's smile. He wondered if he would ever see them again. Sometimes, he heard other prisoners crying in the night. Sometimes, he heard the guards talking about him. Some of them said he was a hero. Others said he was a traitor. Ibrahim did not know what to believe. Outside the prison, the news spread quickly. People could not believe it. Why did they arrest Ibrahim? They asked. He is a good man. He is not a traitor. Some people were angry. Some were afraid. But many people decided to act. They started to gather in the streets. They held signs. They shouted for justice. Free Ibrahim, they cried. We want the truth. The crowd grew bigger every day. The government started to worry. They did not expect the people to care so much. In the markets, people talked about Ibrahim. Old women remembered how he had helped them carry water. Young men remembered how he had taught them to read. Mothers remembered how he had given food to their children. Everyone had a story about Ibrahim's kindness. The people began to organize. They wrote letters to the government. They called radio stations. They made posters with Ibrahim's picture. They marched in the streets, singing songs of hope. Inside the prison, Ibrahim waited. He did not know what was happening outside. He thought about his family. He thought about his country. He wondered if he would ever be free again. The guards watched him closely. Some of them felt sorry for him. They remembered how he had helped them before. They whispered to each other, "Maybe we made a mistake." The government began to feel the pressure. They called meetings. They argued about what to do. Some leaders said, "We must keep him in prison. If we let him go, we will look weak." Others said, "We must find the truth. If we made a mistake, we must fix it." The president was afraid. He did not want to lose control, but the people would not stop. They marched in the streets. They sang songs of freedom. They told stories about Ibrahim's kindness and bravery. One day, a young girl stood in front of the government building. She held a sign that said, "Ibrahim is my hero." She spoke to the crowd. She said, "Ibrahim helped my family when we had nothing. He gave us food. He gave us hope. He is not a traitor. He is a good man." Her words touched everyone's heart. Even the soldiers began to wonder if they had done the right thing. The government decided to investigate. They looked at the reports. They talked to the soldiers who arrested Ibrahim. They realized there had been a mistake. The real traitor had escaped. Ibrahim was innocent. The news spread like fire. The people cheered. They ran to the prison. They shouted, "Free Ibrahim! Free Ibrahim!" The guards opened the doors. Ibrahim stepped out into the sunlight. The crowd cheered. His family ran to him and hugged him. Tears of joy filled their eyes. Ibrahim stood before the people. He raised his hand for silence. He said, "Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for fighting for justice. I forgive those who made this mistake. Let us work together to build a better country." The people listened. They felt hope in their hearts. They knew that together, they could make a difference. After his release, Ibrahim became even more popular. People from all over the country came to see him. They wanted to hear his story. They wanted to learn from his courage. Ibrahim did not seek revenge. He did not blame anyone. He worked hard to bring peace and unity to his country. He visited villages. He listened to the people's problems. He helped the poor. He built schools and hospitals. He showed everyone that true strength comes from kindness and forgiveness. The story of Ibrahim's arrest became famous. It was told in schools, in markets, and around campfires. Parents told their children, "Remember Ibrahim. He was arrested by mistake, but he did not give up. He forgave those who hurt him. He became a great leader because he never lost hope." The story inspired many people. It taught them that even when life is unfair, you must keep going. It taught them that mistakes can be fixed if we have the courage to do what is right. Years later, when Ibrahim became president, he remembered the night he was arrested. He remembered the fear, the pain, and the hope. He used his experience to guide his decisions. He always listened to the people. He made sure that no one else would suffer because of a mistake. He built a government based on justice and truth. The people loved him. They trusted him. They knew he would always do what was right. But the story does not end there. After becoming president, Ibrahim faced many new challenges. There were still people who wanted to cause trouble. There were still problems with poverty and hunger. But Ibrahim did not give up. He called meetings with his advisors. He listened to the voices of the people. He made plans to improve education, health, and jobs. He traveled to every part of the country, even the most remote villages. He sat with farmers, teachers, and children. He asked them what they needed. He promised to help, and he kept his promises. One day, a terrible drought hit the country. The rivers dried up. The crops failed. People were hungry and afraid. Ibrahim remembered his own childhood. When his family had struggled to find food, he acted quickly. He sent food and water to the villages. He asked other countries for help. He made sure that no one was left behind. The people saw his efforts. They knew he cared. They worked together to survive the hard times. As the years passed, Burkina Faso became stronger. The people were proud of their country. They were proud of their president. Ibrahim continued to lead with honesty and courage. He never forgot the lesson he learned in prison, that even a big mistake can lead to something good if we have hope and work together. And so, The story of Ibrahim Traoré became a legend. It was a story of a man who was arrested by mistake, but who turned that mistake into a chance to unite his country. It was a story of hope, courage, and forgiveness. It was a story that showed that even the darkest night can lead to a bright new day. And that, my friends, is the true power of African tales. They remind us that no matter what happens, we must never lose hope, and we must always stand together for what is right.